Now I'm going to go to YouTube and see what we got going on here.
The live hasn't popped up on my phone yet, though. So.
Nope.
Still not doing it?
No, it's still doing the funky. Gosh darn it.
Okay, well, now it's like up and down.
No, it's still doing the funky.
How do you have your phone? You have it sideways?
Yeah, and it's the way I want it to be on my phone.
Weird.
It's something to do with YouTube and changing the orientation from up and down. Oh, oy vey, this is really... All right, well, what happens?
All right.
Let's see something. If I go like this, is it going to change? Let's see something. If I go like this,
it worked.
But it's still the wrong. Oh, well, this is how it's going to have to be. It's for now.
It worked. It doesn't matter. It's still better than what it was.
And yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what the hell's going on. All right. I'll see you there.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Huh. Well, this is the best it's going to get, guys. For now. And I think I did this the last time, and you know what? I never looked up what was going on, so I guess I will have to make myself a big note to fix what is going on here. And I'm going to put this up a little bit more. I really don't want me in it. So, sorry for all that trouble, guys, whoever's here waiting. I apologize. At some point, I will get this right. But until then, I don't know what happened. I used to get on the screen when you're set to go live to change an option to change the orientation so that it's going horizontal instead of vertical. And I'm not getting that option now with my iPhone, so I'm going to have to look into that a little bbit more. So, thank you for your patience. I figured we would just do a little color and chat. I have this picture in this Louisa May Mariana's Creepy Kawaii Halloween that I have a buddy color set up with the enabling colorist, Dee, who is here. Hi, Dee. I did already pick out all my markers for what I'm going to do. And you know what? I'm going to just fold this back. And I do have my paper behind. So we're going to be working on this little owl. Why did I decide? So I do use Copic markers. I've had them for a while. Over the last couple of years, I've built my set to the point where I do have a complete set now. And I wasn't using them because I was listening to other people about, oh, you shouldn't use good markers on Amazon paper. And yeah, it's not letting me zoom. It's kind of just like locked my phone. Oh, whoop, whoop, there we go. Let's see. It's kind of just locked up my phone. Locked up my phone. Anyway, sorry. Back to that. I listened to other people who said, oh, you should never use such good markers on Amazon paper. Well, then they were sitting and drying out, because if you don't use them, they start to dry out. And they said, oh, you'll ruin the tips and da 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 da. It's thirsty paper. Well, show me a paper that really isn't thirsty, that's not going to absorb. I went on to the Copic website. I went on to Amazon's website, and I did as much research as I could find on Amazon paper. Copics state they can be used on copy paper, regular everyday copy paper. According to Amazon, they only have 2 types of paper, and the one is the copy, and I think 60-pound copy paper, and that's their general paper. Copic says these are good to use. So I said, I'm using my Copics. I'm not saving them for that one special book or just those, because any of the nicer books that are hardcover, they're always double-sided. When am I going to use my Copics? Yeah, okay. So I just decided I'm using them. I'm not saving them for any special occasion. I bought them to use, and that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I've been doing. So that's what I'm using. I will give you a few little tips after hi, Cat Lover, how are you? Hey, Jamie. I will give you a few little things that I found along my journeys with looking for this information. I'm just doing the sky in a deep blue, and I'm kind of going for that first. Before I went into this little area, I did use my glitter markers to kind of mark off the spots, because alcohol marker does not exactly cover over gel pen. So you will still see it through the marker. And I'm just going to make this solid. But I am going to go back over it. I did decide to pull out my Dollar Tree glitter markers. Hi, Polly. Welcome. We were having some technical difficulties, as usual, with me. And I'm not doing any shading in there. I'm just going to let that dry a little bit. And then I'll go back to it. And you can see my glitter is shining through that spot. And I will go over that. So that's what I tend to do if I'm going to use a dark color. I will use my markers that I want to use, or pens. And in this case, I used my Sparkle Pop Gold and Silver. And this way, I won't lose these little dots to the dark color, because I'm terrible at placement. And then I can go back over them. So this is something I've been wanting to kind of talk about for a while, is paper. Why can, let's say, Jamie, who's in Utah, use her Polychromos in an Amazon printed book and have no problem whatsoever? Polly, I am working in Louisa's May's Creepy Kawaii Halloween. And then me, whose books are now printed in Orlando, have a problem with Polychromos. And here's my theory, and this was not something I could confirm, but just the world of, oh, I need ink in this thing. All right, bear with me, folks. I need to put some ink in. And all I did was pull the tip out. I'm putting I usually do about 3 good squeezes. Put this back in the rack. Get my tip back. Whoops. Pop it back in. I'm going to close up the marker for a few minutes and let it lay. I'm not worried about this because it is a dark color, and dark colors, the lines will cover up. So back to my theory on paper and Amazon. I think everybody's books, depending on your region, are always going to be different paper. And here's why. If you have a company that has, like Amazon, has several different print areas, print shops, they're going to contract with somebody for their paper. They're not going to use the same supplier because they want something they're going to be able to get in their print shop fairly quickly. So it's going to be by region. This is just my knowledge on business and supply. And so Orlando buys their paper from a place in Georgia, but the books that are Jamie gets in Utah, which are a lot of times printed in Las Vegas, gets their paper from a plant in California. Different plants, different manufacturing. Do they have the same pound rating? Yep. But they're processed differently. Each company is going to process their paper differently. So that's why I feel Jamie can use polychromos on a page one day in the same book that I have here, and they don't work the same as they do for Jamie. The paper is always going to be different. And there's going to be no consistency. Yeah, it's the same anywhere, D. Canada, it's wherever Amazon has a print plant, they're going to buy paper locally or as close to them, whoever gives them the best price. Because I don't believe Amazon produces their own paper. So whoever they contract with to give them their paper supply, it's always going to be different. So that's why I think there's differences. And like you all feel a book and say, well, yeah, my book doesn't feel that way. Or somebody says, well, this paper feels better than the last book, because it's always going to be different whoever they're getting their supply from. And if they're any other business, they may have a 3 to 6 month contract with one place, and that place bid a good price. They took that 6 month contract. 6 months are up, they open bids again to another contractor who's going to give us the best price on paper. Now they're with they're getting another paper supplier. So that's my theory on why everybody has different paper, and there'll never be any consistency other than it meets the definition of what they consider their 60-pound all-purpose paper. And that's basically what they use, an all-purpose paper, a copy paper. So that's my theory. That's been on my mind for a while. And I hear a lot of people go on and on about the paper, and it's going to be different. Just expect it. If your book comes from a different place, it's going to be different. 6 months down the line, it changes again. It's probably because they went with a new supplier. They went with whoever bid them the cheapest price. That's my theory. And that's what I'm sticking to. Bear with me 1 minute. This tip got too dry. So I'm just going to put a little ink on the tip itself. And hopefully that will sink in. We'll go to this one then. We'll just go to the brush. And if that doesn't work, then I will change the tip. And this does happen with the Copics. If they are left to sit, they do dry out. That's one thing you got to kind of watch is your caps on your Copics. If they start to become loose, the air will get in and dry them out. I'm just going to kind of go to the side right now. And then you do have to replace the whole marker if your cap is bad. If it's just they've been sitting too long and you didn't use them, then you can try wetting the tip. And if that doesn't work, and that's wetting the tip with ink, not alcohol. I know you can, and I have done it on cheaper markers where you can kind of revive them, get a little bit more of life out of them by adding alcohol to them. And that's your isopropyl alcohol, your alcohol you get in your drugstore. With Copics, you cannot do that. Copics do not use, there, it's starting to come back. Copics do not use isopropyl alcohol. Copics are made with ethanol. So you can't, if you put isopropyl alcohol in your Copic, you may as well just throw that marker out because you've just ruined the core. To me, these were worth the investment. Yeah, this one's loose. They should fit on tight. I'm going to come back over here. I am using my Ohuhu glitter markers. I drug them out because I haven't really been using them. And where I have the other marks, I'm just going to go back over them. I like to see results right away. I don't save this for the end. Like most people, I can't. I want to see what it's going to look like now. Okay, we're going to go, this is going to be like a little gloomy dark sky. And I'm not doing, I've decided, I still need some more ink. Okay. They're easy to just pop out. And they have that nice long skinny nozzle that goes right in. I don't want to put too much. And I'm just going to hold this upside down for right now. I probably should have checked these beforehand. Let me bring this little thing over so it'll hold it up. All right, put that in the garbage. My clouds. What was I doing for my clouds? I was going to do this pale blue-gray, but then what was I going to... Let's see, this is B60. I think I'll use... we'll do B41. All right. I hope I'm still in camera shot here and you can still see me. Now in tandem, I'm just using this darker color as a highlight, and while that's wet, I'm just going to put a little highlight in there. Now what I find with the Copics, the ethanol alcohol does not dry as fast as the isopropyl. So my edge will stay wetter longer. And then I tend to just go back over it with the light color. So I do my light color first. And these tips are really good. I can even get into these small areas with the broad tip. Now with alcohol markers, also, when you're using a lighter color, no, that's not where I was going. I forgot my whole train of thought there. Sorry. I'll get back to it. I'll figure it out. I'll get back to you. So is anybody working on anything while you're in here with me? Oh, okay, that's my train of thought was going. With alcohol markers, you lay your lighter color first. Oh, no, that wasn't, but that's another point. Okay, and put your darker color over. It's the opposite of pencils. And when you go over, so I don't know if you can tell, but this is still wet. That's more dry than this. You can also, let's see, tell if it's still wet by the temperature of the area. This is really cold. When it goes down, it's cold. And when it's dry, it's the same temperature as the rest of the paper. But when it's wet, if you feel it, it's cold. It doesn't transfer to your hands. But that's another way you can tell. But your light goes first, then your dark. So it's the opposite. Now, when you want a color in between this, like say I want this a tad darker, a shade up, if you go over an area that's still wet, the color stays the same. But if you wait for it to dry and go over that area again, the color will darken. Wet stays the same, dry, it gets darker. All right, I don't think I was, any more clouds? No. Okay, let's come over here and see if I can see where my marks were. I didn't do it very thick, but where I think they are. I think there was one there, and there was a few down here. There had to be one in here. We'll just put a few more. And I don't like the way the silver is not really showing up on this. So I might have to just go all gold. This is the last season of The Walking Dead, isn't it, Polly? I don't know. After, what's his name, lost his eye when they were in that Maryland housing thing, I kind of lost interest. And I haven't watched it since. I guess I should. Maybe when it's done, I'll get back to it and watch it. Yes, now it's fully wet and ready. Oh, I went outside the line. Oh, well, such is life. So, Jamie, are you doing a Rita Berman page just for fun, or is it for a prompt? And which book? Are you working in her new Asia book? I just figured it was time I was going to record this and then post it. And then I was like, nah. I've been sleeping for the last 2 days. I did go to urgent care. And I have bronchitis with touch pneumonia. So I am back on antibiotics. Not back. Well, the last time I had an episode was back in April. Maybe April? But I am back on antibiotics and steroids. So I'm awake. Good for you, Jamie. But are you using water-based markers? Thank you, Polly. This is part of I fight it every year, every season change. Well, the two major ones. Going from spring into summer and fall. The allergies, I try and keep up. And I try and fight it the best I can, but I usually wind up with a sinus infection. And I deny it for as long as I can, and then it turns into the dreaded bronchitis. And then I'm like, ugh. 'tis the season. You're right. And if it's a page that you're not particularly crazy about on the other side, why not? Now let's see. Trying to just get into the crack of this book here. And as far as the paper ruining the tips, I've got to tell you, I have Ohuhus. I've used Towtrees. I still have a set that I'm trying to use up, but oh gosh, I can't remember the name, but excuse me, I'm very sorry. I've tried a lot of alcohol markers, and I have ruined more Ohuhu tips. And at least with Ohuhu, you can flip the fine tip, the brush tip. You can flip it over, and there's another tip end you can use. So you can, if you didn't know that, on Ohuhus, you can flip the tip if it starts to fray and use the other end. But that's it. They don't sell replacements. But I have not had to... This has been a couple of months now. I've just went for it, and I just said, I'm using my markers. I've not had to replace a tip because it's frayed. These tips take a beating. But I've had to change them, or had to stop using because of other cheaper markers fraying. And I've got to say, I think I've tried Cali Arts, didn't like them. Out of the more budget-friendly, now they're not the cheapest, but I consider Ohuhu's budget-friendly. For a budget-friendly, that's what I would use. I know, I sound like an advertisement for these, but I guess I'm just tired of hearing people saying that, oh, you shouldn't use these in these cheap books. Why not? They blend wonderfully. They're refillable. Now, I think it was 10 refills. After 10 refills, Copic recommends that you buy a whole new marker because the core will start to deteriorate. Well, there's some truth to that, Denise. But it is also the... Is that the whole background? That's the whole background. Alrighty. All right, now I was going to do the moon. I'm not doing a yellow moon. I decided I'm going to do a blue moon, waxy moon. Just for the heck of it. Just because I want a blue moon. So what else is there to talk about? Let's see. I know I get kind of quiet. I'm sorry. I get in the kind of the zone and I just kind of go quiet on you, and I'm sorry. So is there any topics you guys want to talk about? Any questions you have? That I might be able to answer? Or if not me, somebody else here in the chat? I'm sorry, I'm going to have to turn the book, peoples. My favorite budget-friendly pencil. Well, after a lot of trial and tribulation, Jamie knows about it because I kept buying pencil set after pencil set. I have to say, budget-friendly, I would go with the Arteza Experts or the Black Widows. I do have a heavy hand, so I go for soft core pencils. And then there's pencil sets I can't stand that other people love. For example, Denise loves shuttle art, and I can't stand them. I bought a set and wound up throwing them out. I wouldn't even give them to my worst enemy. I wouldn't even, usually if I get a supply and I'm not thrilled with it and I find I'm not using it, I will donate it to Goodwill or a nursing home of sorts. But I actually just got rid of them. I couldn't stand them. Crayolas are, if you don't have a heavy hand, then the best pencil I think to begin with is a Crayola. It's your most budget friendly, your most accessible. You can get them in Walmart. I mean, you can get other pencil sets in Walmart, but you can get a full set in Walmart at a very inexpensive price. But they're too hard for me. I hurt my hand. I don't use pencils a lot. I was a typist, data entry, anything we did went onto the computer for 30 plus years. And from that, I do have carpal tunnel. And because I hold pencils so tight and I have a heavy hand, working with pencils hurts. So I can only work with them so much. And the soft pencils, the softer core, work better for me. I can use them a little more often. So to me, Arteza Expert or Black Widows are the ones that I like, that are budget friendly. I hope that helps you, Pally. And as for anybody who's beginning, first thing I would say is never buy the most expensive thing. Hey, Mandy. Was there something else you were looking for, Polly? Like in that? Like, for someone beginning, I would start with the least expensive. And go from there. And that's basically what I did. Poor Jamie. I harassed her all the time and said, okay, give me another pencil to try. I didn't like that one. Yeah, this dried too quick. Hi, Jackie. And I tried many a brands before I fell on the Arteza Experts and the Black Widows. But everybody's different. So like I was saying, I mean, you may like a harder pencil, and Crayolas are just fine. There is nothing wrong with them. Then, I mean, if they hurt your hands, then you might want something that is softer core. Softer core, you don't have to press as hard, and you get pigment out of it. The harder pencils, you have to press harder to get the color and the pigment you want out of them. But your softer core pencils, you don't have to put quite as much pressure on them to get that pigment and color that you want. So I would say, you know, start maybe with the Arteza 120 Expert or the Black Widows. Now, Black Widows, they come in different sets, so you can buy them like one at a time. the Arteza, I think they up to, what are they up to, like 40 or 45 now for the 120, which still isn't bad. And you might want to start with those and see if those help you. You know, see if those are easier on your hand. The other thing that somebody else suggested to me was the thicker pencils. And I did just recently get a set of them. And they weren't too bad, and they actually help if I want to do a background in pencil. Bear with me, I'm looking through my, I know I have them somewhere here. Is this them? This is them. These are the Lyra pencils. They're a little more expensive, but they are a thicker pencil. They're not the skinny ones, so that might also help in your hand and wrist. I just got this set, which was the neon, and because it was, I think, $15. They do have a 36 set, which is $50 to $60. So it's a little more money for only 36 pencils. I haven't worked with these that much yet to know if there is a big difference, though. All right, so I'm done with my blues for now. Where do I want to go? But I'm really not done with my blues. But I can't do that yet. I wonder, let me do this. I want to do the spider web in black stickles. And that's what I took the stickles out for. But if I color under it, so I'm going to do my black gel pen over it before I color in there. And hopefully that'll help where it doesn't hide the lines so much for me. All right. And let's see, about going back to beginning colorist. Just buy the cheapest stuff and figure out what works for you, one thing at a time. I've been coloring for quite a few years, and it took that long to build and find what I liked. And if you want to try the more expensive brands, the one thing that's good about them, and I would call Prismacolor Premiers like a midline pencil. The one good thing about them is they do come in smaller sets. And they are sold individually. So if you go to websites like Dick Blick or Artorama, you can buy them in little sets or individually. So you can try those pencils before you decide to buy a whole set and invest. Alcohol markers. Everything has a learning curve, whether it's pencils, alcohol markers, water-based markers. Everything has a learning curve. And it's going to take a while to get used to them. And the only way you're going to get used to things is by using them. There's something that I'm going to quote Carla Magana on, that she says. And I think she's 100% right, because I think it helped me. Buy the cheapest out there. Work with the cheapest. And learn to use them and get the results you want out of the cheapest. Using the cheapest out there will teach you how to pretty much work with anything and get the results you want from anything. So it doesn't have to be an expensive pencil. It doesn't have to be an expensive water-based marker. I mean, I have, for water-based markers, I have my Crayola Super Tips. And then I do have a set of the Ohuhu water-based markers. Markers I still use. I use for fine tips, for ultra fine tips, I like my Sharpies and Bic Intensities. Those what I like in the fine, ultra fine points. So I have those that I will use, and I will mix Ohuhus and Copics and Bics. I'll mix them all on a page. If there's a color I'm looking for that's not in anything else, or if I need an ultra fine tip and I'm not able to get that out of my Ohuhu, I'm going to pull out one of my ultra fines from a Bic Intensity. Bic Intensities and Sharpies are all pretty inexpensive and easily found. And replaceable, easily replaceable, because, you use these things, they're going to dry out. And they're going to run out of ink. And look for coloring books for things that you like. I like unicorns, and when I first started, I started with unicorn books. And then I went on to different things. I never colored a mandala in my life until I started doing more heavier adult coloring, which was in the last 3 years. Your tastes are going to change. I do have a huge collection of books. That's because I become a collector easily. Yeah, Touch 5. Yeah, any of your budget-friendly markers, there aren't replacements, there aren't refills. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, that's why I leaned towards the Copics. I kind of sat down and did my cost. I was just in a position, I bought them slowly over time. And it was cheaper to buy a marker and a refill and have them where I can change the tips than to keep buying sets of alcohol markers that kept running out, because you can't buy them individually. And if one of these markers runs out, I can replace just one marker. I don't have to buy a whole new set. That's why I went for these, not because they're top of the line. My attraction to them was they were refillable and the tips were changeable. I heard, and I haven't heard anything since, and I don't remember exactly who I heard it from, but Ohuhu was supposed to be coming out with refills and a refillable alcohol marker. If they keep at their price point and they get refills, that would be awesome. But I haven't heard anything since. No, I haven't heard any kind of, whispering in the back rooms on this since, and this was probably a good 6 months ago I heard this, and nothing's changed. I mean, it would be awesome if a more budget friendly, because let's face it, if they're going to upgrade to that, they have to upgrade the cores, because the cores they use in these budget friendly are cheap. They're using the cheapest material they can. If you're going to have something that's refillable, they have to upgrade the core. So they're probably going to go up a little bit in price, but if they can stay in that mid-range price, that would be wonderful, because I do like the Ohuhus. And that's another thing, pigment-wise, like you talk a hard pencil versus a soft pencil. A hard pencil, you have to do many, many layers to get that to that color that you're looking for. And that's kind of what kills your hand and hurts. And the softer pencils can get you there a little faster. The pigment, there's pigment inside of markers as well. And your cheaper markers use less pigment. And as you go up the line, as you go up cost-wise, the more pigment they put in the pen. So the more vibrant the colors are. So that's, I mean, that's another thing. This is all stuff that factors in. And it's, it really does come down to personal preference. If you're okay with buying a set of Touch 5s or whatever else they have out there every 3 months because you run out of your greens and your blues and you just get a whole nother set, then that's your preference. Go for it. So anyway, going back to coloring books, what to choose. There are so many out there now. When I first started, I wasn't thrilled. Everything seemed to be more of a Zendoodle book. It was hard to find books because I really was never into Zendoodle. Just bear with me a minute. But look for a topic you like. Your tastes are going to change. If you told me 3 to 4 years ago, what am I doing? This is the light color. 3 to 4 years ago, that I would own a Hannah Carlson book or a Clara Markova book, I would have said you're crazy. Those are pictures I would never colored in. But the more and more you color, the less intimidated and the less scared you become, and the more experience you gain. So you don't feel so afraid of those types of books. And you long for them, because after a while, you'll kind of get tired of doing, I mean, I don't ever grow completely tired of doing a simple picture, because nothing's really all that simple. It's as simple or as hard as you want to make it. But a more detailed page, I would have said, yeah, Roy, I don't think so. But now I go for them. And they can be quite fun. So your tastes are going to change. I have done 2, at this point, major destashes of my collection. Because I look at some books now and like, yeah, okay, I would have colored that in that 2 years ago, but it's not my cup of tea anymore. So your taste is going to change over time. And you're going to color different than anybody else. I can speak of me and 2 other people in this room right now. Jamie loves her pencils and is more of a pencil, colorist. And tends to be more muted tones. And Denise, who's an enabling colorist, absolutely loves her pencils, will use markers, uses more acrylic paint markers, and loves her pastels. Me, I'm more a marker person, and I love my bright colors. So we're all different. We're all going to find our little grooves. And the only way you're going to do that, though, is by continuing to color and trying. Try something new. A lot of the artists out there will give out free pages. You need to join their newsletters or just their websites, find their websites. Colored Caramel, because I know that's right on the top of my head right now. And you can go to their website, coloredcaramel.com. And they're just for signing up for their newsletter, you can get a free coloring book, a PDF to download. So now you can get a free book from them just for getting their newsletter. And you get to try out coloring in some of their pictures. A lot of the coloring book places like Jade Summer, Color Questopia, because you have color by numbers too. I like color by numbers. And they all on, I think you can get them free, but they also offer them on Amazon. They have books called Their 100 Best. So if you don't know if you'll like a particular publisher, go for their books where they have a collab of pages from all their most popular books. What they do is they take their most popular books. Oops, I did that wrong. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay, well, it's darker there. Oh, well. And you can test it out, test the water, see if you like those types of books. The Color Questopia has not only or is it Color Questopia or Sun Life? The Sach Divas, he has a book that has color by number and Sun Life Drawing, that's the one. They have all kinds of different books out there where it's the lines, dots, and spirals, the color by number. They have a book called 100 of Their Best that gives you examples of all of those types of books, you know, the one color books. So I would always suggest going for them until you find something you like. And although it can be very enabling, watching completed pages videos and haul videos can actually also help you. You can see how, you know, a page was colored. How did it look? Oh, that does look like fun. Or those are the things I would suggest. And you take it one day at a time. And like I said, your tastes will change. So start small and go from there. I happen to think a refillable marker, I'm not going to say the name again, but a refillable marker is a little more environmentally friendly than one I'm going to keep tossing every time it's dried out. My humble opinions. Again, that's just my opinions. And, you know, that's okay, Polly. You're like everything. And it does depend on your mood. Like, I will pick a page You know, for instance, I like to do a lot of the scavenger hunts because I actually like to go through my books and find a picture that I want to color. Now, I will do this in the beginning of the month when I get those scavenger hunts. I will pull books, I will look through them and like, oh, that I'm attracted to. Now, it came to the time where it's, oh, time, you know, let me color this one. Oh, well, that picture ain't doing it for me anymore. And I'll find another one. So yeah, it does depend on your mood. And again, nothing wrong with that at all. All right, so this was gonna, these two were gonna be the broom handle. Just leave it off. Very much so, Denise. The color choices. Definitely. This one is this one. This one is this one. All right, and now my broom was these. So what else? Coloring bingo. Okay, the only coloring bingo I know out there is another YouTuber who has a Patreon. Who, if you are a Patreon, she creates a bingo board. And each spot of the bingo board is filled with a prompt, a coloring prompt, much like your scavenger hunts. Except you try and color in and get a bingo. Or a full card if you want to color every prompt. But bottom line, it is just a prompt-based bingo. There's another YouTuber, I think it's Beth Pym, who does one that's based on the prior month. So she puts these prompts inside of each bingo square. And you have to see if you colored any of those items in the previous month. So that's all it is. It's bottom line, scavenger hunt base type. It's coloring prompts. And we all use them. I enjoy them because, like I said, I do the scavenger hunt ones. Those are prompts. They're coloring prompts. And they help me pull books and look for things. I mean, I do have a lot of uncolored books. So I will try and look through uncolored books to see, can I find something that I'm attracted to fulfill that prompt in an uncolored book. So it just gives me those ideas. Can I come up with these ideas on my own? I sure can. Can you? You sure can. And I have. I actually used one of those spin the wheel apps, and I loaded every Illustrator publisher I had in it, and I would spin the wheel and I would color in that book. And then I added prompts like, an owl or a moon, and I had another spinning wheel, and I did it myself. I still have it. It's still on my phone. I can use it. It's just helps a lot of times when you just don't know what you want to color. So a prompt will help guide you in finding something that you may want to color. I forgot to pick out greens. Well, let me pick some greens. I'll do these two guys. What the heck? That's not really dark enough, darker. So let's go with this one. Now, speaking of, here comes my little promo, self-promotion here. November is my birthday month. So I have come up with my own prompt scavenger hunt that I will post a video on, and will post on Instagram. And it's a scavenger hunt called My Favorite Things. And there are 10 items on it that if you choose to participate, you can color one of those items on the list, or color all of them, or whatever your little heart desires. And I do have a hashtag, and you can post your completed pages to Instagram with that hashtag. And then hopefully I have my stuff together. I will then do like a video at the end of the month and come out early December of all the pictures that were submitted for those prompts. That's my little self-plug. Well, blind man, disciple, I'm sorry, that's not our topic of conversation tonight. So I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ask you to leave. So anywhere. Back to my plug. Yeah, very interesting character. And we just say goodbye. That's all. You did? Ah. So how good of you, since you're the same person. Unbelievable. You get them all. All right. Did I never plan his hat? I know I planned his eyes. Polly, your coloring is good enough. And even those of us who have been coloring for a while have really bad days. I posted one picture yesterday that I'm not happy with, but it was for a prompt, and I posted it anyway. And the way you find prompts is there's different people on Instagram. I don't know if you're on Instagram, who post them, like Enabling Colorist, for example. Every month posts a scavenger hunt on her Instagram, so you just got to look for it. I think she does. Do you do a video also introducing your scavenger hunts for the month? Maybe not. And there are a couple of people who will gather all the scavenger hunts and coloring prompts up and put them on their site. So you just got one place to look, but you start to learn. So there, Enabling Colors will do a video and of her coloring prompts for that month. So the best thing you can do is subscribe to their channel. Jamie does a monthly breakdown prompt, usually. She posts those breakdown prompts to her channel and to her Instagram. And, you know, the more people you follow, Denise, if you want to throw up a link to your Facebook group, go ahead and do so. Oh, that's right. I was going to do is hat this. That's right. We going dark. Let's see if this is going to work. No. We're just going to have a dark one. That's all. I can put white highlights in later. And Polly, the other thing you said too, you're not sure if you have enough books. You don't have to do all the prompts. Do the ones you can find. And then there's also plenty of sites out there that give out free pages. You might be able to find a prompt from a free page. RJ Hampson, he's one who does, he's been doing, if you sign up for his newsletter, he does a monthly buddy color where he gives you the page to everybody and you color it and post it. And there's so many. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. There are so many out there. And quite a few people on Instagram will post when, oh, so-and-so's got a free coloring page on their Facebook group or Deborah Muller will sometimes give free pages, and join her Facebook group. Sometimes Carla Magana does on her Facebook group. Join her Facebook group. Just look for the different artists and their Facebook groups, and I bet you will find many free coloring pages. Yeah, I don't see the link either, Polly. And these, again, this is just the Ohuhu glitter markers. All right, now let's get down to Mr. Owl. Everybody doing all right out there? I don't know why it wouldn't. Let's see. I don't see, well, I don't know why it should. Polly, are you on Instagram? All right, Denise, why don't you find her on Instagram and message her. Give her your Facebook link. And Polly, do you subscribe to her channel and Jamie's channel? Oh, good. Okay. So you have those. I was just going to say, have her give you those links too. But if you already got them, you don't need them. Whoops. Well, okay. I'm doing all the little parts. That's okay, Jamie. It's okay. I'd rather you be in the zone and know you're coloring than not being able to color, because I know that's precious time for you. I think, are these the two I used on the tree? No. This was the broom. So I think I'm going to do this on his feet. So I hope everybody will join me in my scavenger hunt next month. And you don't have to do them all. All right, what part? Let's see, we'll do his wings. We'll do your wings. Yeah, we'll go with this. Oops, okay. I did that a little messed up. But it can still work since it's wet, as long as I get over it while it's wet. Yeah, it's not going to work as well. All right, well, let's just go for it. Oh no, you're drying out, C4. You're drying out. That's not good. Oh, and I've got no more tissues. Well, let's grab one of these. Well, this is one I've never refilled, so. Get the plastic off. Where'd my top go? Where did I put you? There's that. That's this one. Oh no. Okay. Stick you there right now. Let's get you back in. And we'll close you up. Let you sit for a minute. Oh, there you are. Okay. All righty. We'll give that a minute to absorb. So we're almost done, folks. I'm going to finish the owl, and that'll probably be the end of the live. I know it's been a long one, but I figured we were all coloring and hanging out and having a good time. There we go. Oh, they're so much better. Oh, good. You found the group. Awesome. Ugh, why am I just leave it off? Okay. Oh, I put that one on the wrong. Okay. Well, all right. Let's go over this wing now. Oh, oops. Yep. I messed up. That's okay. We'll fix that by just completely covering it. All right. I keep forgetting which one's light and dark in my hand. All right. We's a getting there. Now, I did want to, let's put you down for a minute. This was C4. So let's do a little bit lighter. Give them a little bit of a lighter patch here. Okie dokie. C2. Where did I put C2? Oh, I put C2 on here. All right, so we come back to C4 and C6. And all right, let's Sorry guys, I'm a little just trying to get it while it's still wet. All right. I guess now we're up to his face. I'm gonna make this a little darker. Thank you, Polly. All I'm doing by going over that side right there is trying to keep that edge wet. So that when I come over here, I'm okay. Now you ideally want to stop when you have a good solid line to stop, or when you're in one of these little tiny areas, if you have to stop, because then your line isn't going to be as noticeable. Yeah. All right. Now, let's see if I can find all my spots all my stars. Which they're not, well, I guess I'll just do my own thing. All right. And now it's stickle time. I'm using Black Diamond. And I want to use it on the spider web. And where's my little, oh, I'm going to put you there. Okay. Let's, oops. All right. So one this side. And now we'll do this side. And I think that's all I want to do. I think that's it. And now I'll just leave that out to dry, because if I try and close it, we all know what's going to happen there. Yeah, it looks okay. I like the blue moon too. I agree with you, Pauline. Thank you very much. Just something different. You know, I kept doing yellow moons, yellow moons, yellow moons, gold moons. And I was like, I want to do a blue moon. For that every once in a while blue moon. All right, well, before I say goodnight to everybody, oh, I taught you to change your moon colors? Yeah, why not? Anything, these are your books. They can be any color you want them to be. Any. You can make any color, anything, and I get it. We get stuck on the way the color should be, and there is no should be, and I get stuck on it too. And there is no should be. It's whatever your imagination wants it to be. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Jackie. I'm glad to hear it. Makes me want to do it again. All right, so anything before I say goodnight? Anybody else want a question or a comment or anything else before I say, see you later, alligator? Well, thank you everybody for joining me. I really appreciate it. I do get very nervous. I am going to try and work on the orientation so that I have the wider screen. I got to figure that out. That is bugging me. So I will promise to try and get that figured out before the next live. And thank you, Mr. Chu, with the cute little kitty nose there. All right, folks. Well, stay safe out there. Have fun. Happy coloring. And remember, it's all in your imagination. You do what you want. They're your books. And I will see you guys real soon. And there is a new video posted. It should be up there for viewing now. It's diamond paintings and cross stitch. And I have another one that'll be going up about paint by numbers. So I'll see you guys there. Take care. Bye.